Today should be a pretty exciting day. I have two Eastman guitars here. They came from a friend of mine, Doug. Doug owns Guitars San Diego. He has sent me these out of the goodness of his heart and the benefit of you, the viewers of Guitar Hunter. So make sure you check out them. Guitars San Diego. Doug is awesome. Now, both of these are Eastmans. I believe this is an E10 and that's an E60. Both of them are going to be really exciting guitars. Now, what's really interesting to me is 4 or 5 times I have reached out to Eastman and they have told me the same thing each time. I've asked, hey, can I just see a couple of your guitars? There are no dealers anywhere close to me, but lots of people want to know my opinion on them. And each time they've said the same thing. You don't have enough followers. You don't have enough following. Sorry, we have a group of dealers that we're going to work with. That's fine. I get that. But it's just been interesting because other brands like Guild is probably around the same size and Guild has been awesome. They just have sent me stuff. They've let me buy things at artist price. So it's worked out really well. So anyway, I think Eastman, I mean, their strategy seems to be just volume. Get as many guitars into as many laps as they can. They're not worried about the boutique-y kind of types like I am. So anyway, with all that said, I have 2 guitars I want to open up. Oh, I love this stuff. I love the really form-fit, really well-packed stuff. And man, Doug did a great job on this. Packing slip, there we go. This is a super nice case. Okay, so my general perspective on Eastman has been that I just assume that they're like Blue Ridge, where they're good guitars made in China, but they have bad finishes and, you know, they are budget in a lot of ways. So I think I'm wrong. From people I really love and trust and know and trust their opinions, they've told me that I'm wrong. So let's hope I like being wrong when it comes to better quality guitars for real players. Super nice case. It's very reminiscent of the Guild cases, the new Gibson cases, old Taylor cases. Holy moly. That's a really good looking guitar. Man. It smells great too. Smells like lacquer. All right, so there's the smell. There's a smell to cases that come from China. Like there's a very specific glue smell. 4122. Wow, this is a pretty relatively new guitar. It's like August now, so this guitar's like 4 months old. And this is obviously just a very bare bones, like just me sitting here. How does this guitar sound? I have a new. This is a super wide lens, so just bear with me here as we get things going. Okay, just absolute first impressions. It sounds like a very expensive guitar. Sitting here, it's got tons of bass, tons of punch, things that affordable guitars don't normally have. Now, I think this guitar is like $1,500. Now, for that, I would be super excited about that. I mean, this is definitely better than like a D16 or that kind of guitar for a bunch of reasons. There's really great, like, I can't get over, there's super figured mahogany on the side here. Like, I don't know if you can see that, but it's really pretty. Now, on the back, it's a little strange. You can see that. It's like almost a burst on the back. That's unusual. I mean, I like it, but it's also strange. Now, this is very much an 18 style guitar, but there's a volute, which I love volutes. I really do. If you know me, you know that I have an insatiable desire to own guitars with volutes. But on an 18 style guitar, that's a little unusual. Now, the other thing I noticed while playing it, the top is very thick, like very thick. So basically they have like the laminate with like the cross grain on the inside of the sound hole, but it's twice the thickness of a lot of other necks, or of other tops. That's strange. Ebony bridge, ebony fingerboard. The ebony bridge, it seems very polished. It's got good abalone buttons. It compensated, looks like Tusk saddle, Tusk nut. Open gear tuners. They're not branded, so they look like Grovers, look like Waverleys. They look more like Grovers. But it's a good looking guitar. The back of the neck, one of the things that most import guitars, in my experience, in my opinion, they seem to have is they use woods that aren't necessarily, like, they won't use mahogany, but they'll stain it real dark. So, I don't know. This looks like an affordable kind of neck when I really look at it. Oh, okay. Ooh, that's clever. That's probably why they have a volute. So there is a scarf joint, but the scarf joint follows the contour of these two lines that come off of the volute. That is really clever. Like, it's so hidden. And then they stain it dark so you don't see it. Okay, I mean, exciting, cool guitar. Total first reactions. I'll do a full, like, review of these guitars. But man, for what this is, I think I would be super excited. It's strange how thick the top is. Like, it's kind of jarring to look. I'll do a shot later and kind of show you how thick it is. But man, this thing, it smells great. It looks exceptional. I wish that the headstock I wish that the peg head was gloss. It's satin, but that's okay. Neck is satin. Kind of a burst back here. Yeah, anyway, I think that's all of my first reactions. Now, let's open the E60, the EM60. It's like a triple OE thing. So, let's do that one. Let me show you a thing that just makes me happy. That gigantic, big honkin' sticker from the boys in Nashville. So this means that this is a FERC that went to San Diego and was built in the Czech Republic by awesome guitar company. And so this guitar wound up in San Diego, and then the box has brought an Eastman to me back on the East Coast. Ooh, that was a good one. Normally I'm not that good at throwing these things. Normally I break things. If you watch enough of these videos, you've seen me throw stuff off camera, and then you see my face react to me breaking a $300 thing. Like, I broke a microphone a while ago. Broke my Zoom H5 recorder. Anyway, I'm a big dummy sometimes, and I break stuff. Ooh, I like this case a lot. It has like a logo embossed here on it. Definitely, like, the case is definitely not as nice. Maybe, I mean, in some ways it's nicer. The other case feels a little more like bespoke, like a little fancier. But this one, man, again, these smell great. You should get cool guitars, if nothing else, just because they smell great. All right, so this is the E60 MTC. Sheesh. This is a great guitar. It feels really good. It sounds good. It smells good. It feels like an OM. And I said a triple O earlier. An OM, easiest thing for me to remember how to tell the two is this shaped pickguard, where it's like the teardrop. It's not the super round. I don't know if I have another pickguard around that'll help you out. Maybe that one back there on the Dreadnought on the TDM. Now, let's talk about this guitar, just my first reactions. Now, like the E10, I'm shocked. The top is so thick. And when you get back, like when you get maybe an inch just outside the rosette, it gets down a little thinner, and they have just these like cross grain things to stop the sound hole from cracking. But even then, man, they're still pretty thick. But there's stuff that just feels a little thick on this guitar. So the pick guard, as I look at it, looks pretty thick. And then the fingerboard extension seems pretty thick as well. So I think that this guitar is probably just overbuilt so that it would have longevity and last a long time. That's great. That's exciting. I would trade a guitar that lasts 20 or 30 years for a guitar that sounds almost as good. You know? Does that make sense? But, okay, so in the same way, this guitar has a volute. Does it have the same neck joint? It doesn't. Holy moly, I don't see a scarf joint in this neck, and it's not stained as much. How is that possible? So this guitar is much more affordable than the other one and doesn't have a scarf joint in the neck. Still has that same kind of sunburst. Do you see that? Kind of a sunburst to the back of the neck. There's another glue joint here, totally fine, but I think sometimes they try and hide it like they're ashamed of it. This one is definitely stained a little darker here and then very much in the corner here. Open gear Grover style tuners, I like those. The ratio is good. I noticed I was turning a good bit and just it's a good, slow, gentle move, but it's not. You got to get on it if you're trying to go from like slack strings up to tension. But the neck profile on this guitar is bigger than I would have expected. And the neck width, like it's both wide and a little deep. Like it's a good learning guitar. I bet this is an 1 3/4 nut. I can almost guarantee just based on how it feels. But an 1 3/4 nut width on an OM, that's pretty normal. But it's a really good beginner kind of spacing for the guitar. Man, this guitar would be super exciting. It doesn't lack in bass the way that I always fear import guitars to do. So anyway, man, my reactions to both of these Eastmans, they're really good, but there are a couple things that if you're just nerdy and you know about guitars that stick out to me, but I don't think they would be a problem. I mean, like how thick the tops are, I didn't see that coming, but the finish is much better than what I expected, and they don't have the gimmick. Like, that's what I always loved. That's my love-hate relationship with Blue Ridge, because I worked at a shop and I sold Blue Ridge guitars, and the thing that killed me more than anything else was that I loved Blue Ridge guitars from the nut this way. I love everything about how they look and sound and play, and you know, they're fun. And then you get to the headstock and the headstocks are too small and they're just super gaudy, and like it's just, if you can ignore the headstock, you can get a good deal this way. But I think with Eastman, it seems like these are like a whole cool guitar from top to bottom, front to back. Man, there's still some like figure and movement. Now I don't think this is like Honduran mahogany, but I bet this is like Kaya. I have to look inside. It's pretty fair. No, I mean it's a pretty good rich color. Man, I think these guitars are a ton of value for the money. Both of these are going to be for sale. I'm going to have them for sale on my website. You can also buy them through Doug and through Guitar San Diego. But anyway, thanks for watching. I'm Jeremy. I'm the Guitar Hunter, and you have just seen and experienced this is really my first experience playing Eastman guitars. Maybe one or two here and there, but this is the first time I've really thought about them, paid attention to them, looked at them closely, and given them my my overall. So anyway, thanks for watching. Make sure you're subscribed. I am Jeremy. I'm the Guitar Hunter, and I want you to go fill the world with music and friendship. That's what Guitar Hunters do. We make the world a better place. Did that last time too, that weird A thing.